It's funny because in early seasons, as we were coming out of College Humor getting sold to Sam and like everyone getting laid off and coming out of COVID, we used to, in the early seasons of Dirty Laundry, be like, nobody's watching this, whatever. Oh, you have a story about your mom? That's okay. She doesn't watch this. And now we're like, they might watch this.
Say something that you want out on TikTok.
Yeah.
Right.
It will be there.
Really excited to have you guys here today. We love having Dropout people on. And like in preparation for this, for my job, got to just binge a bunch of Dirty Laundry, which is just so much fun.
Excellent. I've done that for my job.
Well, you binge.
Yeah,
Binge
I do. I sorry, I stopped listening after that.
Well, so what I think is so fascinating about that show is it's something that I really like about Dropout as a whole is that the comedy is coming from a place of like, I refuse to be ashamed of the things that make me different from someone else.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so there's like such a pride around like, yeah, this weird little secret. And I'm curious for you guys, like, as the show has gone on, like, how have you seen that grow? How have you seen that develop with like, in how you approach it and how guests approach it?
I think when we started, it was like, oh, what's a juicy secret? And I think we realized we got a lot of like, shit my pants, puke my guts out.
Had sex someplace odd.
Yeah. And we're like, those are universal. Actually, babe, we've all shat our pants.
Yeah, that's more of a fun fact than a story.
Right.
Yeah. And it's really, we've realized over time, it's more of a storytelling show. What are the fun, surprising instances that have happened? And then we can make the copy of the secret to be whatever.
Yeah, that's also fun because you can tell when it's like the person who submitted the story doesn't know how it was framed.
Uh-huh.
And then
Usually our producer Paul does that. I don't know the full story behind it. I like to be surprised. But there was one I remember that was like, who gave a surprise performance at the Austin airport?
Yes.
And Jacob Wysocki was like, that's not how I would describe it. But it was that his bathroom stall had opened and everyone had like seen him take a shit or something.
Yeah. It's also because I'm very familiar with that airport. Like, where are you performing? Like, I got like way too in my head before like the facts came out, and I was like, okay,
At the Salt Lick Barbecue.
obviously that like square.
Local reference.
I am curious because like you guys also tell secrets on this show, and I think the Dropout seems like such a free space as someone who watches it that it seems like it seems like a safe space that you can kind of share parts of yourself that might feel like tender. And so I'm curious for you, like, how do you make the decision of like what's something you're going to share with the world and something that's just for you?
I'll share anything. Except like my personal life that involves other people.
Sure.
Like my husband, my child,
Yeah.
my parents. Actually, my parents.
Yeah, those are my best stories.
Yeah.
I think it's like Lily was saying. I'll share anything. Just some of it's not a good story. Some of it's just like, well, that's just an embarrassing thing about me.
Right.
That's not a.
Did try to submit. I peed myself at the Blue Man Group twice.
I'll tell it again right here. Can you believe someone would pee themselves at the Blue Man Group? Crazy. Now that's crazy.
Was that just were you like just so excited, or was there not a
Not
proper-
having an intermission should be an illegal thing. It should be illegal to not have. The show was over.
How
and
long is it?
It's 90 minutes. Not that long.
Okay, I was like 3-hour show.
Not that
with
long.
Intermission. 90 minutes, you gotta breeze on through. You don't want to take away that momentum.
I was in the aisle on my way up to the bathroom, and I just was too excited to make it. You know?
And he was so excited to tell this story, he tried to submit it in season 5 after he told it on season 4. And our producer was like, sorry, is this a joke? And I said, no, Grant was just so drunk he doesn't remember telling it.
Which is why I get to be surprised by my own stories. What a pleasure.
What a fun way to keep work fresh.
You're telling me.
You bought out drunk? Hey, every day.
Look, I learned about that in acting school.
Where do you feel like that serious training comes into play in like being professionally silly?
First of all, even then, I was being very silly.
Yeah, I'm like, acting school is so silly.
It's really, like, you really have to pretend you're not laying on the floor for $50,000 a year.
Grant took an acting for soap opera class at NYU.
I did. And you know what? They taught me how to stand so I don't look too tall on camera.
It's just standing with your legs wide.
Oh.
It's
$50,000 a year.
$50,000 a year is so.
But at least I can be on all the soap operas.
Now you're
all the
ready.
soap operas that are still around.
Soap operas. You could do verticals.
Yeah, right? Oh, your lips to God's ears. Let's do it. I'm available.
Well, to that point, because you guys have both have like, like I remember they cut to like your FBI scene and things. Was there ever like a moment, whether it's as an actor or a comedian, where you're like, wow, this is my job, like for better or for worse, but just that kind of surreal moment where you're like, this is a real job I do.
Oh, when we filmed Dirty Laundry, for sure, I go, this is awesome. Even though we batch shoot them over 4 days, and then it's like I blink and it's over. So, but I'm like, I can't believe that was
that we get to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such an awesome, especially a show like this where we do both kind of watch the show as the show happens. So we're kind of just watching funny people be funny. We do shoot it all in 4 days. So we're watching a lot of people be very funny. But it's an awesome gig. It's so cool.
It's so fun. And also a lot of times, like in other shows, I'm a very small part in a much larger machine, like Game Changer or like a TV show.
Sure.
Like I'm just in and out. This, like, I'm really setting the pace. Grant is making the drink. Like, it really feels like our show.
Yeah.
And that's,
I didn't realize how many episodes a day you shoot until you did your like day in the life.
oh yeah.
That was wild. I didn't realize though it's like 4 days. That's after that for both of you. Are you just like no one talk to me for 48 hours?
I'm doing okay right afterwards. It's like the next way. Well, day of too. Usually both of us end up sitting on the couch just, I guess I have to stand up to go home. All right.
No, I have an incredible social battery. I'm like, it's lunch. Let's chat. Grant, I cannot find him. He's hiding. He's in the back. He's laying
I'm
down.
not hiding. I'm preparing the next drink. I am lying down sometimes.
And
Sometimes I
after
am lying down.
prepares.
I am
He
sometimes
is
I'm
also
lying down.
drinking significantly more than me.
Again, can you believe it's my job?
Well, I mean, for people who, because I do love that you guys actually show how to. I got very into cocktail making during COVID because I think it was like my way of being like, I'm choosing to stay in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My pitch for it is it's all the fun of cooking, but it's over in 30 seconds. You're making something.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing a recipe, and also you're getting right to having it.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is a question for you, and maybe you, if you know cocktails as well. I was watching some music right before this, and a guy came to the bar, and I feel like he was quite bossy about the drink he ordered. Like, he was like, less ice. And then she poured out some ice, and then he was like, just a spot. And he was like, that's enough. And he kept going like when to stop. And the drink was tequila, a splash of pineapple juice, and seltzer.
Yeah.
What is that? What is
gross.
that?
That's gross.
That's a man who doesn't like the taste of tequila, but can't bring himself to order a margarita.
Ew.
And-
You're so right.
And to be specific about that, like
That's crazy.
We're in a dive bar.
those 3 ingredients will taste good in any combination.
Yeah.
Just let them cook. Let them go.
I am married to a straight man, and one thing I definitely give him
Sorry.
credit. I know
That's rough.
he's pretty good, actually. Like as far as straight men go, and we've said this, he's pretty good for that. But I will say this: he is a straight man who is not afraid to order the floofy cocktail,
Yeah.
and it's like. I forget how lucky I am in that because if you go out with a couple who gets like that and the guy's like, I'll just beer. And then he's like staring at the drinks. I'm like, yeah, these drinks are fun and delicious. And you could have had them.
Now, what's your cocktail? What do you like to order?
I'm very fickle. And here's the thing. If you give me a cocktail description that I can't in my head figure out, I want.
Great. What
Right.
an attitude.
Okay.
So like there's
Curiosity.
right? There's a place near me that they have this weird cocktail that has a mushroom liqueur in it, which right, like sounds honestly gross, but I love it. It's like sweet and savory and bizarre, and I don't know. It's called like the Jungle Bird or something.
Not enough savory cocktails. I love
This is what I'm
savory
saying.
cocktail.
It's so good.
You had the smoked tomato at Vandel?
Yes, I have. Isn't it great?
There's a bar in LA that opened near me, and they smoke tomatoes
Ooh.
daily, and they
I
infuse
love
it in their drink,
smoked
and it
cocktail.
tastes like a smoky tomato. It's
I think tomato cocktails are going to be the next big trend. I
Like,
think that's the next trend.
so refreshing, like because like I was just like you do the smashes, you just like mash a berry, mash an herb, throw things in. It's really simple, and like to the point where I was making it for my nieces is like mocktails, which they got like very snooty about. Like it got to the point where they
Less ice.
you don't even know like
Just less ice.
you don't know they're 8 and 11,
Ah.
and they came to visit me in New York last year, and like. I said, where do you want to go for dinner? And the 8-year-old goes, I don't care as long as there's mocktails. And I was like,
That's crazy. I don't think mocktails should be the same price as
They
a
should.
cocktail.
Now this is, I agree.
The
How dare you? How absolutely dare you charge me $17?
in LA.
We had a thing where we had Elvira coming in and she had a cookbook out. And so I wanted to prepare something from the cookbook for her there. And I decided to go with a cocktail because I thought it would look great on camera, but I used a non-alcoholic gin because that way if she wouldn't screw either of us up, whatever.
It's the day. It's the daytime.
Right? But like that gin was the most expensive gin I've ever bought. It was like $45. Like great, it's very good. It's delicious. And I said to the guy which this can't be right. You might know this. I said to the guy at the alcohol store, that's what they call it. I said to the man, why is this so expensive? Because I was just flabbergasted. And he goes, well, they have to make the gin and then make it unalcoholic. They take out the alcohol. I was like, that can't be what happened.
Isn't it just like juniper?
Well, it is, but you have to steep those in alcohol to get to strip the flavor, and then reduce that basically down.
Okay.
But I don't think a mocktail needs gin
Not
flavored
necessarily.
non-alcohol. Like
I will say a non-alcoholic gin is actually delicious. Like
Gin is already so close to being like there's so much going on without the alcohol. It's they haven't cracked non-alcoholic whiskey yet. And I don't know that they can. I think that might be science. I dare you. But gin is
what's
terrific.
whiskey made out of?
Whiskey's alcohol that's been aged. There's no other
pure alcohol.
It's alcohol that's been aged in oak.
That's why it's so good.
It is. That is, and it's so hard to make it not that.
Right.
It just is that.
But sorry, for some reason, this is. People are gonna get mad at me and for any opinion I have, but I'm like, just either drink whiskey or don't. If you don't drink alcohol, I love that. If you're sober,
Right.
that's great. You do not need to drink gin flavored. I don't like decaf coffee either. And they were like, I just like the taste of it. I don't want caffeine. Grow up.
It's the beyond meat of it all. Like, have a vegetable if you want a vegetable, but don't bullshit me.
You know what? I'll be honest, is I really have gotten more into the mocktails in part just because, like, I like waking up the next day and not feeling
It's great, but
like
it
hangovers hit
taste
different.
like.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm fine with the mocktail as long as it has a complexity.
Yeah,
But like,
A huge unlock for mocktails for me was like a very strong tea where you have like a big bold flavor like you would in a cocktail that you still get to kind of a counterpoint in the cocktaily way.
I love an Earl Grey.
Hibiscus tea is really good in a cocktail.
love a shrub.
I love a shrub.
Yes, I'm so glad because I hate having to explain to people what shrub is. I've like literally sent it to my friends. Where like, I think I'm gonna drink less, and I will like mail them from this like one farm in Pennsylvania that I'm obsessed with. Tate Farms.
Okay, let's define shrub.
On the most recent season of Dirty Laundry, out now on Dropout, one of the non-alcoholic cocktails I made was the Ruby Shrub, which is a shrub is a vinegar base for your cocktail. You use vinegar to strip a flavor,
But it's not vinegary tasting.
No,
No.
not necessarily. It
Yeah,
can
it's like
be
a tartness,
but it's more like
like a ginger beer. Or something.
yeah, exactly, or like a lemon would be in a drink.
And it's like, it's usually a fruit. So like I have a bunch of different kinds of fruit ones at home, and like the wild, but like there's like a blueberry that's really good. And
Blueberry would be good.
yeah.
Thoughts on men making beer in their closet?
I don't think men should do anything in the closet.
They got to get out of there.
That's right.
Be out and proud with your beer. Yeah, the home brewery thing. I'm not a beer person, so like I don't get that. And wouldn't it just? I don't know. Is it gonna make your apartment smell like yeasty or your home smell yeasty?
That's another thing. Non-alcoholic beers are very popular now.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't Tom Holland have one now?
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, you love the taste of beer without
Yeah,
alcohol?
that's I can't believe there.
I'm him. I am so almost 40. I could so easily get into home brewing. The littlest, the slightest breeze would push me into home
You
brewing.
have a studio apartment. Where would you do it?
Right on my bed. I'd move it right off the bed at night, and I'd spoon it the whole time. Who knows?
Just that extra love and affection.
That's right. It's alive. It's alive.
He doesn't have a partner, but he has a kombucha.
And a cat. Thank you very much.
There you go. Well, I'm gonna take this homebrewing conversation to the Fool's Gold Challenge,
Yes.
where you proposed your own breast milk taste test. You with Izzy and Becca and Jordan. I'd love to know how that came about.
It came about before that episode even came about. At the beginning of every season, Sam Rish emails us and is like, would you or would you not do potentially these kinds of challenges based on spiciness?
Sure.
Like where you have to do this or that. And I always just go, yeah, I'll do anything. And then at the bottom, it's kind of confounding. I don't know if you've ever pitched anything. They're like, is there anything crazy that we haven't thought of that you would do? And I'm always like, it's too open-ended. So I go, you can bury me alive.
Yeah.
For like 3 seasons in a row now, I'm like, you can bury me alive. And they're like, Lily, we are not that kind of show. I'm like, whatever. I saw them do it on The Traitors, and I'm not scared. But then this one, I was like, well, I'm nursing right now, and that's like a once-in-a-lifetime experience, essentially.
What an opportunity.
So I've always found the Pepsi Coke taste test challenges. I find them so fun. And I was like, let's do a breast milk taste test.
That's so smart.
And then I think Sam was like, haha, no, but you're kidding, right? And it ended up like everything got approved, but I think he thought the sharks would turn down some. And he's like, look, here's some examples. You know, they might say like yes to this, and then like obviously like no to like Lily's breast milk taste test. And I straight up just email him back because I had pitched it and nobody responds. And then I see it being used in Fool's Gold being like, and obviously nobody will do this. I said, excuse me, what do you mean no one?
That's proper television.
What do you mean? That's mother's milk. They call it liquid gold because it's full of nutrients.
Now, who calls it that?
Like moms.
Okay, all right.
Moms.
Well, I don't like to talk to them.
It was so fun to watch, and it just, especially because Jordan just seemed genuinely fascinated by the challenge of it all.
I'm so glad she was on the panel. The way Mike Trout noped out of that immediately.
I know.
Reiko was like, no.
I know what it was.
And then Jordan was like, I've been dying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting. It was also just really sweet because it felt like, again, going back to the kind of like the idea that there are things we're supposed to be like secretive or shy about. And it's like, I'm proud of my breast milk. I made breast milk. Like, I thought it was so kind of wonderful in normalizing it, even though it was just kind of like let's do the bit.
Yeah.
I feel like Dropout has the vibe of it's like a modern day circus in that I think it's a thing that a lot of us who, even if we're in creative fields, are like, oh, if I just ran off to Dropout like that, because it just feels like such a community where there's such passion for what you guys are doing. And like, is that reflective of what it feels like to be there? Because I mean, it seems like because of the way the network works, it's not just like you guys have shows. It feels like a real community across those shows.
We were just talking about like what's the thing about RAF. What's fun is that oftentimes we know the thing about each other, and then we can play with it, like whatever the proverbial wart is. It's like, oh, I know you because I know you, so we can dive in on things like that. That is super fun. It is also super fun bringing in people who haven't done that before and kind of saying like, oh, this is the vibe that you get to play with here. Come play, come join.
I think it definitely also, I mean, a lot of us worked at CollegeHumor before, and then we also just like know each other from doing like live comedy in LA, that we are friends outside of this. And then I think in terms of like the hangouty vibes, it varies from show to show, because obviously like Game Changer can be stressful to show up and not know if you're about to get your ass pumped on digital streaming television.
Which one?
Or
Your
if your
parents
mom's
are
gonna
going to
come
bring
out-
it from me from behind.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
I do wonder for you specifically, because it feels like the bar is so high to embarrass you that they keep trying to figure out what it is. So like your mom on stage really seemed to change the chemistry for you.
It did. Yes, it did. Yes, that's the case. That was that.
Yes, it worked.
That is what happened.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
We don't need to send her this one.
Do your parents wash your laundry?
I don't think they know how. And I've put Dropout on their TV, and I still don't think they know how to turn it on. And I'm fine with them not seeing that show. I don't have to watch it.
My
That's okay.
in-laws watch every episode.
It was just wild.
Every episode.
Well, they've got great taste.
Yeah. It's a very fun show. I also want to talk to you about your fashion sense on that show, because rightly in season 5, I think Danielle points out, you kind of have the vibe of like a widow who's definitely being questioned by the cops. And she's like, I don't know what happened to my husband.
Well, I did have elbow-length gloves on.
That was
one,
amazing.
yeah.
But I think there's like another one where you have like a big flowy, like the outfit that you would wear coming down a grand staircase.
That one was fun.
Yeah. Like, is there like do you have like a lot of input into that? Do you have any kind of say into what that's going to be like?
I've been styling myself since the first season, although I'm tired of it. I'm out of ideas.
Are you really?
I'm out of
You're
ideas.
so good at
12 outfits a season. And I will say, we had all male producers in earlier seasons. They were like, anyway, so your budget's like $1. You can put together 12 outfits, right? What's it like? And then over time, as I've had female producers, I'm like, please, I need more
Hey,
money.
this is a
12
this is a TV show.
chiffon is expensive.
I do all rentals, and it's just like a lot of times it's whatever is available on Rent the Runway. So like sometimes I get better stuff, sometimes I get less. Yeah, for the season where I was insanely pregnant, it was hard. I think I posted an album online of all the dresses that did not make the cut, and it's all just dresses where it's a giant ruffle here, and it just goes out like this, and I just look like a triangle.
Talking about filming multiple episodes in a day, it was as that season was coming out, my mom asked me once, "Is Lily pregnant again?" Like, no, we're just still airing those. No, that's still what's out.
And I respect that, like, 'cause you always look so fierce on that show, but it's like I know that there's certainly a pressure for women, especially as they get bigger, whether it's through pregnancy or any means, to like make themselves smaller. And I like that the show was just like, no, this is my style, and I'm not gonna like tame that down.
No, again, you're pregnant, you gotta be titties out, milk in a cup.
Right.
Laugh it up.
That needs its own T-shirt. That's its next Dropout T-shirt. Titties out, milk on a cup.
Justine does such a great job with your looks too.
My hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Matching to your outfit,
She's great.
which is to change that three
Yeah.
times in a day is a lot.
And Grant, how many times did you wash your wardrobe within the first 3 seasons?
They had to like dry clean it because truly, if I'm standing near something hot, it's just it's the same shirt for 12 episodes. in a
Well,
row.
also, again, we filmed for 4 days, and then they put it in a box and forget about it until next year. But then
then it's
between
a
like season
biodome.
2 and 3, they pulled it out for the new season, and they were like,
like, hey, this is illegal. We can't do this. I'm gonna call the union or something.
Oh, I do love that. I also, and like to Grant, to your point, as a fellow chaotic bisexual, I really appreciate the representation you bring across Dropout.
We deserve to be seen and then promptly ignored.
yeah.
You speak for all of us.
You know, it's I say we should own how very annoying we are because it's the truth.
Oh God, it's been so fun watching this. Even just the past year, watching the network develop and all the new ideas you guys are coming up with, and like, I don't know, I'm how aware are you guys of the shifting perspective of Dropout? Like, are you guys like, does it, because like the super fan thing was wild, where basically you guys raised your prices and fans were like, we would pay more. Like, I'd never heard of that.
Which is the exciting part of it yes, people are very excited, but yes, people are also excited to see what the next thing is you talk about the shifting perspective. It's like, yes, cool, I dig this, and also what else, which is exciting to have someone saying what else. That's excellent.
Yeah, it's funny because in early seasons, as we were coming out of CollegeHumor, getting sold to Sam, and like everyone getting laid off, and coming out of COVID, we used to, in the early seasons of Dirty Laundry, be like, nobody's watching this, whatever. Oh, you have a story about your mom? That's okay, she doesn't watch this. And now we're like, they might watch this.
Say something that you want out on TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. It will be there.
But I feel like Dirty Laundry, yeah, it was their first original show coming out of after the sale and like in COVID, and it'll be interesting to see as the network grows and tries new things how it changes, because there might not always be a place for Dirty Laundry, but they're starting to license shows, they're getting back into animation, and to see like what else is in store for all of us.
What a cool thing for someone to wonder.
Yeah. Is there a dream guest you guys have that you'd love to have on the show? Something you want to manifest, if that's your oeuvre?
Well, it's a group of 4.
Mm.
And we do like to make it a group that
knows each other a bit.
I want the Hobbits.
That actually would be awesome. That actually would be really good.
I want the Hobbit.
Those charming little guys. I think that sounds great.
Now here's my question: the actual hobbits or the Zara hobbits that are like Andrew Scott, Paul Mescal? You know the meme? It's like there's like someone took a photo of, I'm gonna forget one of them. So if anybody remembers, it's like Paul Mescal, Andrew Scott, Jonathan Bailey, and I'm forgetting the fourth one. Do either of you guys anybody know? But it's like a meme of like
chaotic bisexuals.
Oh shit.
So they take a photo from like above, and it made them all look really short. And so people were like, if the Shire had a Zara was the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they all looked really short. Because the picture was from above. That was the reason that Paul Mescal looked short.
He is 6'8". Everyone knows this.
Short. compared to
Everyone's
you.
short. Yeah.
That's
Grow
true.
up is what I have to say.
And we mean that in so many
That's
different
right.
ways. I mean spiritually, emotionally. Grant means physically.
Get taller, Paul Mescal.
literally.
Might have gotten that nomination.
Look, if Paul Mescal wants to be on Dirty Laundry, I'm not gonna say no. He can chug his drink and then run off. into
Yeah,
the
sure.
park.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're welcome.
Do you
If
remember
might
that
get
rumor?
stuck in the couch cushions, but whatever, it's fine.
Oh my goodness.
It's fine. Come on.
Paul, we love you.